Afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. It's Eric Coffin. I'm coming to you from the November 2018 edition of the Metal Investors Forum in Vancouver. I'm here with Tom Doyle. He's the CEO of Aloro Mining. I want to give you a little bit of background on this one, actually, because I've actually been a shareholder of Aloro since, I don't know, 2012 or something. I don't know.
Yeah, the Yukon.
Yeah, back in the Yukon. Interestingly enough, Tom has picked up a project in Sonora that I was actually trying to get my hands on, because we both know the vendors. Tom apparently knows them better. It was a project that's very interesting because it's an early stage one, but it had some interesting targets, and it's sandwiched between two mines in the Venados district. And I just thought it was a really cool project. And I'd been told about it. I was trying to get it for a company where, you know, I've got some friends in, but as it happened, Tom beat me to it. You got a really good deal on it too. You've got 100% of it now.
Yes.
Can you tell us a bit of what attracted you to why this project, Los Venados in particular?
Well, first of all, it came from a very qualified group, being the Almadex group, the Poliquins,
Yep.
And it was just fortunate that for me that they, first of all, had the discoveries in Almaden, so they formed Almadex, and this property was in Almadex, and they get another discovery in Almadex, and they just didn't have time to get to this project because it wasn't close to their other projects. So I have a great relationship with the corporate finance guy, being Doug McDonald, and I asked him if they had anything kicking around as I was looking for a new project, and he suggested this. So first of all, I noticed you're right beside, adjacent to a producing pit.
Right.
That's a good indication. You start looking at the maps with all of the faults, and it's a very complex property in that the faults are running in every direction. Then you have another producing open pit by an eco-eagle called the La India. And as you said, we're sandwiched right in between it. And it looks like the structures are running. We're in the same geological setting as both the Venados pit and La India.
And the targets that you've got in the southern part of the property, I can tell you, they're very reminiscent of the classic Venados camp targets. It might be worth mentioning to viewers that part of what kicked off this recent decision to do a placement and get the drill rig going was who wrote the check for half the placement.
Yeah, exactly. We were fortunate. We didn't rush into it right away. We had to do some of our own groundwork. We shot a bunch of IP to follow up on the Almadex IP that they had done. So we have a total of 17.3 line kilometers, and that generated a very good target for us that we could see. And the thing is the target that it generated was exactly what one of the consultants had recommended where it should be.
Right.
So it followed up there. I had met with the ANICO people last year at PDAC, and I showed them the target, and they said, how quick can we get on the property? I said that was not available. They asked to do a JV. I said that was not available because for little money we could upgrade the property substantially. Mm-hmm. So they came in and basically they said that they would do a private placement in order to cover my first stage of drilling, and that's what they did. So they bought 8.7% of the company, but asked for a shareholder rights agreement where they can move up to 9.9 and continuing on with any further financing as well.
Now that the financing is done, things are starting to move a lot faster. You had a release today, in fact, that you're about to get the dozer out there, do the road building and pad building. And I guess getting that dozer out there, among other things, it's really like trenching. This is sort of your first sort of new mapping of the project is going to happen thanks to this bulldozer.
Absolutely, and that's why we didn't go for a D7, we went for a D8, right? Because there's this silicified cap over much of the property. There's very little outcrop. It makes sampling a little bit more difficult. And what this will do is hopefully expose some of those mineralized areas underneath, as well as structure,
Right.
which will all be part of our, drill plan as well.
And that said, the drilling's not long in coming. I mean, they'll have this road building done and the pads ready to go like in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, no, the road building, I think, will be about 10 days in total. And they will start on the road building tomorrow morning.
Right.
The drill rig is scheduled to show up on the 19th, so a week Monday.
Okay.
And I'm looking forward to it.
And one thing that's worth noting too is the project you picked up from Almadex, you subsequently, like I guess last summer or this spring, I guess it was sort of, wasn't official till this spring, I guess.
Yeah, this June.
This
is
June.
when we got the official
Yeah.
notice. We were officially awarded it in March of this year, but we never got the official letter
Right.
until June.
And you've essentially
Doubled
doubled, I guess, the size of the project.
Yes.
And doing that has actually brought in another set of targets that you sort of got as a fallback after this set on the south end. I know you guys just started digging into the reports and stuff, right?
Absolutely. We've had there was the results that we have. They're very interesting. They seem like they're representative, but we can't use them because
Yeah.
it was a private company. They're private documents. But it doesn't meet 43-101 standards. But there's been some very high grade. The structure seems to be different. It's more of a vein type structure up there. It is higher up too in the system. So, but the gold is coming from somewhere.
And it's worth mentioning if you don't know this camp. I mean, what Tom's exploring for is essentially disseminated bulk tonnage gold, open pitable material. I mean, both of the mines on both sides of them. This is essentially what they're mining. He's same rock, same structure. He's basically looking for something pitable. And I would think in the case of the companies on either side of you, really, I think either of them would be happy to take something probably relatively small that's just going to add to their mineral inventory.
Absolutely.
I don't know where they're at in terms of their production life now.
I think, I don't think it's over, but I think that that is a concern for both companies.
Right.
And, what we're seeing is that they're developing other targets within their own properties. But when this opportunity came up, they said, well, we got to get our foot in the door.
Okay, Aloro Mining, it's AORO on the venture. Like I said, I'm a shareholder. I've been one for a while. I bought some more recently. It's a very low market value, sort of high, I'd call it sort of high risk, high return type drill speculation where the company's quite inexpensive, and if they drill mulatto style holes, I think the market's going to sit up and pay attention very, very quickly. So I think Aloro is a story you definitely want to have on your radar and on your screen. And
I might mention one thing is that this is the first time that the company's ever been marketed in a number of years. So it's not like it's an old story.
No, it was definitely one of those, oh yeah, I still own some of that. Oh, that one. Oh, okay. Is that still there? Oh, okay. You're still public. That's good.
Okay.
So yeah, Aloro Mining. Take a look at it. It's really very interesting target between two operating mines in Sonora. Thanks very much.
Thank you, Eric.